All right, guys, welcome to step 7 and 8 of the 13 steps to build a scalable business. Step 7 is a question mind. I will have to be honest, this is a completely new concept for me. So, anybody that has, and I went through the exercise. And I'm going to go through kind of some of the questions that I came up with. But I'm going to share my screen. And what the idea behind the question mind is, think of it as, so you've got a mastermind, right? Which is basically just um, topics and brainstorming and usually, developing answers to questions. What a question mind is, and when you develop this, and I'll go into why you develop this in a little bit, but what you're developing is questions around your business. And when you come up with these questions, you're not supposed to come up with the answer. So, yet, and at least in this step in this exercise. So it, when I went through this, that was kind of where my mind took me, right? I was thinking of the questions and I was like, well, if I'm going to answer that question, how would I answer that? And that's not the purpose of the reason why we're doing of this exercise. The reason for this exercise is that as we're going through the 13 steps, we've done our mission statement, done our vision statement. Um, we've done goals, putting together a business plan. So this is okay. So this is kind of, I keep describing it as in a funnel. We're going a little bit down, deeper down. Um, and you guys tell me if I took a little bit of a different spin um, from what Jake did, just because as he was talking about it, I was trying to think of, well, what kind of questions do I need to have answered? What's my purpose? What's my goal here? What's the end game of this exercise? So really what I thought when I came up with my questions is I thought about your business, right? And just the different aspects of your business. So, for example, and this is just, it's not the way, but it is a way. So I appreciate any input that you guys have. Is questions around finance in your business, right? So we're small business owners. We need to watch the money coming in. We got to watch the money going out. Marketing, lead generating, client service or customer service, our database, referrals, and what does our organization look like? Not only does our business organization look like, but our own personal organization. How do we manage our time? How do we budget our time? Things like that. So the when you're focusing on these questions, you're thinking about, I thought about those particular areas specifically, but it's really around the growth and the success of your business. And um, like I said, you just come up with the questions, you don't have the answers. So I'm just going to read you the questions that I came up with. And the exercise is to create 10. I might have created 10. I might have created a little bit more, but I'm just going to read these to you and see if these maybe you can glean some inspiration. What are your financial goals for 2025? How will you achieve those goals? And what could get in your way? So the other piece I was thinking of was the questions. So who, what, when, where, and why. And it really kind of gravitated towards the what side of questions. What are the top three marketing pieces for a listing? How will these pieces be created? Who will create these pieces? Kate. What is excellent client service to my business? How can I 10x client service in my business this year? Why is this important to my business? What are the three what are the three lead generating pillars to be implemented in my business this year? So I said three. Ideally, in a prospering business, you have anywhere from 5 to 7. But start with three and work on those three, and then you can work on more or less. So that's just where I came up with three. How will these pillars be implemented and by when? What can get in my way? Why is this important to me and to my business? So those are the ones that I came up with. I don't have, I mean, I kind of have the answers in my head, but the realizing that that's not the purpose of the exercise. It kind of goes back to one of the training exercises that we did a couple months ago about the art of asking great questions. This goes into that as well. So not only when we deal with our clients, asking them open-ended questions, these are open-ended questions that we're asking ourselves about our business. And I found that after I wrote these questions, that it really focuses around goals and what your goals are and goal development in your business and determining what's important, why is it important to you and to your business, and also realizing that there could be obstacles that are going to get in your way. I know for me personally, when I write the brokerage goals, last year I I went overboard, and you guys have probably heard this story before, but I just said I'm going to do all of these things. I was curing cancer, I was solving world peace, I was going to run for the presidency, just all of these lofty things that I was going to do. Midpoint through the year, you do the midpoint review and you go back and you look and you go, oh my goodness. And I felt really deflated. So what I'm learning, not quite perfected, and I don't think I ever will, but just making your goals, making these questions in this exercise, making them realistic for you. What's going to be realistic for you is going to be different for Devin, for Zerveni, for Jamie, for Kate. Um, so it's okay that, I overshot, if you will. Um, I just got better putting these goals together as I go through that exercise. Um, so heading into the second quarter, because our first quarter is almost done, I will be asking you guys in the next couple of weeks, giving you a heads up, your goals and how how did you do over your first quarter for your goals? Are you on track? Are you on task? Are you falling behind? Do we need to kind of adjust things? And I'd like for those conversations to be, an open dialogue um, that we do on a regular basis. So I can help you, we can help each other, with our businesses and just making real estate the what's going to get us that, our ultimate goals in life and in business and everything. So it's a team. It takes a tribe. So anybody have any thoughts, perspective on this exercise that they'd like to share?
I'll share just my experience with the question mind. I didn't understand it at first either, and I was hesitant, but how I approached it was starting with the 135 breakdown of the business plan. And so at the bottom where you have your, like well, I guess at any point. So I have my three goals. And so I just really focused on one of those goals. It was very new to me. I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? What is this? How's this going to work? So I took that, and that was to create, I wanted to connect with other small businesses in my community and, partner with them, do social media posts with them. And so I went from there, and then I flipped the page to the 10 questions and just started thinking through, okay, like, who am I going to call? How am I going to find these businesses? What kind of businesses do I want to call? What questions are they going to ask me? What do I need to be prepared for when I do talk with them? If I'm going to do social media posts, how many? And so I just kept going and going. And I quickly realized how freeing it was to just keep asking the questions and not stopping to think about what those answers are. Or I would just try to go into another question, like, where am I going to find these businesses? I'll do a Google search and Google search this, and just kind of kept breaking it down, breaking it down. And then once that was exhausted, and it just kept spinning into more questions and more questions, which helped me prepare myself for reaching out to these businesses. I was, really nervous, like, to call them and be like, okay, what am I going to say? How, how am I going to present this? I need to be quick. I need to be concise. I need to make sure that they understand what's in it for them. And so going through the question mind exercise allowed me to prepare myself to make those phone calls. So I took the questions, and from those questions, I kind of developed a business plan, if you will, just getting myself prepared,
Yeah.
and did the research, looked up the businesses, thought about what types of businesses I wanted to connect with. So it was really helpful. But I liked hearing how you, Dawn, thought about, what challenges, what barriers, what could go wrong, and thinking about that too. That was something that I didn't even include in my question mind exercise. So I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Devin. Yeah, this was tricky. This
Hmm.
is, and I think the the way that you approached it was, okay, I have a goal. I want to reach out to these businesses in my community. I've never done this before. So taking the steps and just what you did is you put together a plan, right? And you wrote down all of these questions that you could even possibly think of to help you plan for those conversations. And it makes you a little bit more confident. Those initial phone calls are always a little bit, it's you get those sweaty palms when you're, picking up the phone. But then once you talk to people or connect with people, it's like, okay, this is not so bad. I can do this. So I love that perspective. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? The other thing I thought of with this is like, okay, well, this can translate into your personal life, right? So, um, my car's in the shop. So I thought it's in the shop. And so I was thinking about this. I'm like, I could use this when I'm talking to the mechanic. What questions do I want to ask? What do I need to be aware of? Because sometimes mechanics talking to women is a completely different conversation. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something like this when I have the conversation with the auto mechanic about getting my car fixed. So it it's a good life practice. Okay. Next is opportunity map. This is this this exercise is an extension of your business plan, and is kind of taking your vision statement and kind of putting some meat and potatoes to it. And really, so building an opportunity map is, let's do some forward projecting on your business. What does my company look like in a year? What does my company look like in 3 years, 5 years, more? And I would add to this, what's your exit plan? What's your exit strategy? Because are you going to do this forever? Are you going to retire at some point? What's your exit strategy? So maybe just add that into the question. Determine the who. So this is a big one. So even for solo agents, solopreneurs, you still need to have a who in your business to make things happen. Case in point, Devin, you talked to your brother. He wants to rent out his house. What was your first thought? I'm calling Jamie. So Jamie is your who in that matter, and trying to, not that it's a problem, but it's an opportunity, and you realize that you needed some expertise um, outside of your expertise. So you call in your who. Um, so these would be people, your vendor partners, agents within the brokerage, things like that. So just kind of what your people are, your community is. And then with that, you build an opportunity map or your organization chart. So maybe, and I would even say you would build an organization chart at 1 year, at 3 years, at 5 years, and down the road. Does every agent out there want to build a team? No, not necessarily, but some do. Maybe there's other aspects of real estate that you want to get involved in outside of sales. Um, Maybe it's, rentals, property management. Um, Maybe you don't want to work with buyers. You just want to work with sellers. So really to kind of taking that vision of what your business looks like and kind of plugging in the who of who that's going to be, and then kind of building your organization. Um, if it was, as an example, you wanted to build a team, you would have people that would be a buyer's agent, a listing coordinator, a transaction coordinator. Maybe you have um, a marketing manager, things of that nature. All of those people that would help you build your big business and also give you that leverage that if you want to grow your lead generating pillars into other opportunities. Maybe working with investors as an example, or maybe there's a piece of your business that you really wanted to get into managing short-term rentals. The real estate, there's so much that's in it. You can just go absolutely crazy. But what the idea and the premise behind this is taking it in steps. What does your company look like a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Who are the people? What is in your business and writing it down on a piece of paper. What does it look like? Um, and it's okay if it's just a square and it has your name in it. But think about, if it's not a team, it's just people that you would rely on to help you in your business. Agents in the brokerage, like I said, vendor partners, things of that nature. Other opportunities to go into different areas of real estate that you're possibly interested in. So it's taking those question mind and then building that kind of helps you build the vision, if you will, in your mind of what you think your company is going to look like in the future. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
I'll just add a comment. Sorry to talk over you.
No, you're good.
I just wanted to say that the one thing I remember from a locker room discussion around this opportunity map is somebody did theirs, but they color coded it, I think, based on the years, like how they plan to grow their business over time. So there, certain things were a certain color, and then over time they were going to expand out, and that was represented with another color. And I like that idea. It's just to give you a sense of what you're going towards and when it will be.
Yep, yep. And it's I think I look at these projections that you put together um as living, breathing documents, right? So, what you plan out today of what your business is going to look like even a year from now could be completely different. I know where I'm sitting today, our brokerage looks so different than it did a year ago. So, um, things happen, opportunities come up. So it has to be flexible. It has, like I said, a living, breathing document that it can change. And if it's different, it's okay that it's different. But as long as you have, it's to give you the vision, the stepping stone, the plan of your business and what you want to do to make it grow, take it forward, keep it steady, Eddie, whatever your goals are. Is it's just having that plan in place. Anybody have any other thoughts, comments on the topic? Next week, we're going to cover step 9, which, okay, we're funneling again. So key leadership roles. And step 10 is building a calendar of training. So not only focusing on business growth, but also your personal growth as well. And that's what I have.